Destiny 2 in 2022. Is it worth it? Is it worth your time? I've at least put in about 20 hours into this game, to the brand new Destiny, and I've only scratched the surface. But as someone who did dig Destiny at the very beginning, it's fun to kind of dive back into this and see how much has changed, and is it actually worth someone's time to get reinvested back into this? And that's what this video is going to be about. Now, hi guys, my name is Zach. I love talking games, as well as movies and TV on my other YouTube channel, but this channel is dedicated to gaming itself. And many of you guys enjoyed the Mass Effect Andromeda in 2021 video, so I'm starting a series where we dive back into games that maybe have started to change, or maybe just dive into older games and see how they hold up to today, maybe when they didn't. So make sure to leave a comment on what game you'd like me to do next, as well as make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on gaming content over here when we do them, because it is a blast to talk gaming, and really much diving into Destiny, we have to take it all the way back to where Destiny 1 released in September 9th, 2014. A game that I was like, oh my god, Bungie's making a brand new game. I loved Halo Reach, I loved Halo 3, 2, and 1, and even ODST. I was such a fan of those. But what are they doing next? This brand new first-person shooter sci-fi thing? This looks different, this looks weird, but I'm kind of all for it. And I dove into it, and I liked it. It was fine. It wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, but I liked it enough to go, okay, this world, what they're doing is unique. It's just, it felt like they were held back by something. And this was when their 10-year agreement went in between them and Activision. And you can feel like there were some Activision touches in there, especially with certain issues that we have with Activision just nowadays. And for me, this game just didn't have enough content to suppress and enamor me to stay on board. I played it for a couple months, and then I never touched it again. Then The Taken King came out and some of the other add-ons, and I'm like, yes! And it still didn't enamor me to play anymore, and I completely fell off. But they tried getting me back each time, and it didn't. Bringing us into September 6, 2017, 3 years later, Destiny 2 releases. And again, everything bringing about this, I'm like, okay, this looks to be awesome. It's going to be great. It's going to be exactly what the first game was. This is what Bungie is hyping us up to be. It wasn't. It was, again, the same thing, but just a little bit more content, but not enough to bring me in. And they released a couple add-ons here and there, but again, nothing that just, I fell off completely. But then I had a couple friends who were still playing, and Destiny 2 Forsaken released a year later, 2018. And this was arguably one of the biggest expansions Destiny had ever done. In fact, it was about avenging the death of, spoilers, Cayde 6, which was really unique. But guess what? Bought all the DLC, jumped back into this excited, never beat Forsaken. Never beat it in my life. I liked what I played, but it didn't hook me. There was just something to it that was not grabbing me. The story was cool, I like doing this, but still there was something about Destiny that was keeping me at arm's length. Back in 2019, Bungie decided to, per their agreement, take Destiny and everything and leave Activision, which was a big deal at the time. And, you know, they broke their deal, they left, and they wanted to kind of do their own thing, and now in this year, February 22nd, 2022, the Witch Queen arrived. Which, my friend was telling me, if you're going to get back into Destiny, this is the time to get back into it. And he was not wrong. The Witch Queen brought a ton of great things to it. Not just a great story and lore to the world that actually kind of started to intrigue me a little bit more, but this felt like exactly what Bungie wanted to do from the start. And again, I still feel like they're feeling the repercussions of what Activision had wanted them to do, but this is finally giving them more of something else. And we're going to dive into all of that, but now especially with Sony buying Bungie, I feel like that's just that Sony money being able to give Bungie and fund a lot more into these projects, and that's what is exciting me here. So, what intrigued me to actually come back? Why did I ask my friend who still plays Destiny, is it worth getting back on? I explained how I wanted a first-person shooter and how I wanted something that, you know, was a little bit deeper. And he told me Destiny. He goes, Destiny's a little bit deeper now. It's a grind at times, and it's always been a grind. But there's so much to do that you will always find yourself able to do something. Whether it's multiplayer modes like Gambit, Crucible, or even PvE modes like Vanguard, and running strikes, or even driving into dungeons and raids. There's all those things. Then there's a ton of story content that you've already missed out on, but when you catch up on all that, there's still stuff to do. And the thing that he hooked me on, and the number one thing that got me enamored, is every game is doing these dumb season passes now. Well, Destiny is doing one. And I thought, this is stupid. Like, when I heard they announced this, I thought that was the dumbest thing. But then he explained to me that you get story missions, story content per this. For $10, you get story content. Now, that might annoy people. People might just want it. But it kind of takes me back to the day of, like, what World of Warcraft used to have. New expansion every year, but it's like every 3 months we get something new, which is awesome. And then, like, it's one big expansion at the beginning of the year. This is awesome to me. And that's what hooked me. So being able to dive into the first 2 seasons and actually diving into, the first season a little bit more, and then the second season just started for the year, I am loving what they are doing, because it's intriguing me to do more and to want to excel and get to that. And again, this is not going to be for everyone. If you still were not a fan of Destiny from the start, I do not think this will change your mind whatsoever. But I do think if you are someone who liked it and wants to get back into it, this is the time to get into it. It's a lot. I'm not even going to lie. I had to watch like 3 different videos on exactly what everything is and still have some of my friend explain certain things to me. I am not the type of person to do that for you. I'm mostly just telling you what my general feelings and thoughts are, but there is a lot to learn. There is a learning curve, but once you start to learn it, you start to gain more and more powerful. And honestly, the Witch Queen feels like a true RPG fight. There's puzzles. There's things you have to decide on how to do. And one of the biggest things is the bosses. How damn difficult they are. But it feels like an RPG. I'm telling you right now, if this add-on was released with Activision, this add-on would have never came out. Activision, for me, while a studio that I do appreciate certain games that they have made, they are a studio that really much wants to go more towards, who are their fans? We want to get new fans, like Call of Duty and stuff like that. Destiny is not like that. The last boss for Destiny 2's Witch Queen add-on probably took me about 3 hours to kill. From just frustration, having to get friends on, and honestly figuring out a strategy. It's a strategical game at times, and it's satisfying in the end when you do finish those, even as frustrating as it can get. But it reminds me of some of the deepest and darkest RPGs that I would dive into, and that's where it got me. And then seeing what's going to be new in this season, how we're exploring the moon, and they're bringing back the Defiant Leviathan, which I've never been on. It's awesome. And that's where it goes to, is just the gameplay and grind continues to be the same. It's smooth, it's seamless, it's badass, and especially if you're playing on next-gen consoles, you can run that thing at 120 frames per second for Crucible, which is just stellar. And the grind actually is not that bad, because you're always consistently going and doing something different. Whereas, per se, let me look at Elden Ring, a game that I did need to grind up to levels, was me just sitting in the same spot. And again, not everyone's going to grind that same way, but it was me literally sitting in the same spot, grinding XP to get up to that next level. And it was kind of annoying, like, I'm not gonna lie, but I enjoyed it. Destiny, I enjoy the grind a little bit more because I'm always consistently doing something different, and there's always new things to unlock and find and discover. And, I did buy every single add-on that is available right now for you to buy. And the only one I thought that was a little bit too pricey was the Bungie's 30th anniversary, but the weapons you get in there are awesome, and the cool new game mode you get in there is kind of fun too. Is it worth $30? Probably not, but I wanted to get my full experience around it. But that grind, that gameplay, I feel was there. And that where it takes us also to the bosses, the missions. These locations that they take you to in Witch Queen are new, the locales, and even in general adding in some of the new enemy types. These are things that, again, maybe Destiny players who have played all throughout every year, they're like, nothing's new here. For me, it was, and it felt new. And I feel like people who are trying to come back into Destiny will get this new experience. And if you have friends to join back into, this is the game to get friends on. Because when you are in a fire team together, taking on a hard boss and having to strategically figure out how to do it, it is so exciting and really fun. And even diving into there, you get more story and lore, and there's a lot in here. Destiny is a fascinating world, and one of the things that I've always appreciated about Bungie is the way that they develop lore. We knew this in Halo, and we definitely see it in Destiny, and for me, I feel like it's only an uphill trajectory for them. I do honestly think that there will be people who just decide never to come back to this game, and that's totally fine. I will completely understand, but I think now with Bungie being on their own, whatever we see next from them for this game, because they have said that they're going to support this game up to a certain amount of years, I think 2025, and then we're going to get a Destiny 3, which will completely be their own world and everything, not held back by Activision. that is what's going to be exciting to me, is see what that version of it all. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't even argue that you should do that. I think they should just make Destiny 3 a gigantic add-on to Destiny 2. Slide off the 2, just call it Destiny 3. This is the big 3.0 update, whatever you want to call it, and move on from there. Because I don't want to restart. I love what I'm into right now, and I want them to just keep supporting and adding stuff to this, because as long as they do, it will continue to bring me back. I'm a Destiny addict now. I love like jiving into this game after work and jumping in and having fun with my friends. Or even if I have to play by myself, there's so much that I can still explore and do, and just figuring out how to get to that next power level. Once you get it down, it's fun. And once you deep dive and figure out all the stats and how each thing works and the mods, and you discover something new, I feel every day is playing as Destiny. And that's something that I really appreciate. Because where I want to see this franchise go, like I said, is just keep expanding this game. Do not make another version. Just update it, support it, give that love. And if you give that love, you could potentially get a new fan base. And honestly, when Destiny 3 or whatever they want to come out with, maybe that does bring people back. I think you just market this as Destiny 3 and you move people over. I think there's a lot of exciting things that Bungie can potentially do with this entire franchise. And I am very excited. This is my ramble, my rant on Destiny 2 in 2022. I definitely think it is worth it to jump back in. If you are a fan of Destiny from the start but fell off, if you have never liked Destiny, I do not think this will change your mind. And maybe you've never played it but think, there's a lot to get into. Definitely watch like 2 different videos. I'll probably post them down in the link below. That way you guys can check those out and see, okay, this is what I need to know. This is what I need to buy. I can't recommend this enough, and I can't wait to have a conversation down below, because Destiny 2 in 2022 is starting to become the game that I think Bungie wanted it to be from the start. And if this is just like kind of like right now where it's at, like pretty much what they wanted to be, I like it a lot. And I'm hooked, line, and synced into this brand new world, and really much just this brand new experience. Like, this is the Destiny I've wanted to play, and I've probably played more Destiny than I ever have in my entire life. So take that as what you will. I like this game, and I am very much satisfied, and I'm excited to continue to join back in, guys. Let me know down below what your guys' thoughts are. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what game you want me to deep dive into next. I've been contemplating on No Man's Sky in 2022 video, but let me know if that is something that you would actually like to see. Thank you once again for watching, and of course, until next time, keep playing games.